Welcome to Digital Futures Education. Today we're going to do a very deep dive into integrating AI into education. We're going to take a quick look at some AI vocabulary that's essential to know. We're going to evaluate some classroom scenarios where AI is being used and help you develop your own concepts of how to evaluate these scenarios for proper use of AI. I'm going to give you some tips for developing an AI integration plan, review some of the tools that you might see in the classroom, and leave you in a place where you feel like you can take the next step with AI in your classroom or within your school. Some of the biggest themes related to AI in education come from educators' perceptions and fears in some of the following areas: concerns about data privacy and protection, questions about the ethical use of AI in education, and proper acknowledgement for the use of AI tools. There are also concerns around how these tools can be properly integrated into the curriculum. And there's the continual changes and shifts of understanding of the knowledge related to AI that's going to be important to know moving forward. 4 areas that I'd like to delve into before we get into our strategy session include educators' current level of agreement with the use of AI tools, comfort with using AI tools in the curriculum, comfort with using it in their teaching practices, and better understanding their general familiarity with the tools. Let's first discuss educators' agreement with AI's place in enhancing the curriculum. I think most educators understand that AI does bring tremendous opportunities and abilities to teaching and learning, and adaptive teaching and learning. But educators also need to be aware of some of the potential challenges that it brings in terms of ethics and bias and academic integrity. When thinking about bringing AI into the curriculum, I think most teachers are excited by the potential benefits that AI can bring to help adapt existing curriculum materials and help students understand and utilize AI to help diversify their learning. It's also an essential technology that students are going to need to have experience with. It's important to realize that educators can construct environments in which AI can use properly and with proper protections in place for ethics and bias concerns. It's very important that educators become comfortable with AI so they can take advantage of these benefits and utilize them appropriately in the classroom. AI tools present an amazing opportunity to expand the skill set of educators, students, and their collaboration. When thinking about bringing AI into the curriculum, we're going to see a tremendous wide range of tools being brought into the curriculum that support AI technologies built within them. This is going to include chatbots and search engines which provide very personalized recommendations, grammar and spell checking tools that are going to enhance your writing, the use of voice recognition and voice assistants that will take your voice and utilize natural language processing to be able to create new results and new information for you. Early on, it's going to be important for educators to realize the tremendous benefits of integrating AI into the curriculum and seeing how the tools can enhance learning. This can be with traditional writing assignments, utilizing AI as a planning tool, and being sure to emphasize the originality of ideas that need to be created when using an AI tool. Teachers' comfortability with AI is of the utmost importance. Supporting them and understanding the tools better, the vocabulary better, in ways in which they can take first steps to begin utilizing AI in the classroom effectively is tremendously important. Their adaptability and awareness is on the rise. So aren't the students. Some of the biggest concerns are plagiarism and the impact that students being able to develop skills without the use of AI, or students not being able to develop the proper skills because they're utilizing AI. Additionally, there are concerns around data privacy, cybersecurity, and a continuing need for professional development and support to help them get to the next level of their comfortability with AI tools. I think educators, administrators, and people in the business world recognize that there's tremendous benefits to improving efficiency and time management that the use of AI will bring to education. Let's talk about AI integration into education. If you look across the web and in the news, there have been many local and state adoptions of the use of AI in a variety of capacities, and also communications from state and federal authorities around the proper use of AI. I highly recommend that you consult with your own state for their policy on the use of generative AI. Also, I highly recommend that you look at the Office of EdTech's resources for AI on their website. Also, many states have LibGuides with tremendous amount of resources to help support you in understanding where your state and federal resources related to AI information exist. Not only are these resources going to give you the current trends and adoption of AI policies, but give you the understanding of the broader picture of where AI stands. It's important to know this information, as this is going to be the framework for how AI is going to be integrated into our businesses, schools, and daily lives. One of the biggest areas of focus is ethical considerations for the use of AI in education. We want to make sure that AI is used ethically in the classroom, that data privacy and protection concerns are taken care of, and promote safe and responsible digital citizenship and create safe digital learning environments. Another important component of AI integration into schools is professional development, training and supports for educators in the area of AI. Training should be comprehensive for faculty and staff and provide training on a wide variety of tools to understand their nuances, their differences, and the key vocabulary relates to each one. There should be implicit instruction to support educators on the function of these tools and how they work, and how they can be integrated into their teaching practices. AI presents an amazing opportunity to enhance workflows with administrative tasks and grading. Student preparation for the use of AI is also an important component. Students need to be shown how to use AI ethically and responsibly. Incorporating AI learning experiences into the curriculum can help them see many of the different ways that these tools will impact not only their future, but also current learning. Enhanced teaching and learning opportunities also exist with additional AI integration. Personalized learning by enhancing the student's individual experience during the learning is going to be incredibly amplified through the use of adaptive technologies with AI. Student engagement and outcomes are also going to be tremendously enhanced. It's important to offer educators support through AI-powered opportunities. Help them experiment, learn how these tools work, and how they can be effectively integrated into the curriculum. Students' abilities to better understand their future careers will also be enhanced by supporting educators to utilize these tools within their curriculum, as AI is certain to be part of a majority of current students' futures. Teaching and learning strategies as well are impacted by the use of AI, and AI can tremendously help develop new strategies to support better teaching and learning. Data privacy and cybersecurity will always exist as a potential threat, but it's important to think about how AI and data privacy and cybersecurity interconnect. With the use of any AI application, it's important to understand that a data privacy contract should be in place. Educators need to be taught how AI and data privacy connect. Measures need to be implemented to be sure data privacy is put in place when utilizing AI applications. And educators need to understand how to utilize these tools safely and effectively with students and on their own. Let's discuss some of the key AI vocabulary that educators should be aware of and understand how it relates to education. The first term is artificial intelligence, AI. AI is the ability of computers and machines to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. An example of this in education would be a system that helps grade tests quickly by marking students' answers quickly and effectively. The next term is generative AI. Generative AI is a type of AI. This type of AI creates new content, such as text, images, sounds, videos, or learning patterns from other data. An example of this in education is an AI tool with a generative ability where if students can create stories by suggesting a plot or characters based on themes that they choose. So basically something is put into the AI and then it is created. The next term I want to go over is natural language processing. Natural language processing is a field of AI that enables computers to understand and interpret and respond to human language that is in a meaningful and useful way. NLP empowers voice assistants, like Siri or Alexa. And an example is how students could ask an AI tool an auditory prompt and receive responses back with a voice or another auditory prompt, knowing their language and their term. The next term is machine learning. Machine learning is a type of AI where computers learn from data and improve their performance over time without being explicitly programmed. An example of this in education is a learning app in which maybe the reading level adjusts according to the skills of the reader. And the assessment questions could adapt as well to the skills of the learner. So as the AI learns the responses and the feedback of the inputs, it can modify instruction. The final term I want to go over is vision computing. Vision computing, or computer vision, is a field of AI that enables machines to interpret and make decisions based on visual information from the world. An example of this is an educational app that uses a camera to identify objects in the real world and can provide an interactive lesson based on what it sees. That's a basic roundup of some of the key words that you should be aware of related to AI and AI tool in order to get your start with learning how to integrate AI into education on a wide range of levels. The next thing I would like to do is go over some group scenarios to help us evaluate the use of AI in the classroom. Each scenario is going to be specific to a district, elementary, middle, and high school. There's going to be a chance to do some discussion questions and ultimately provide feedback to be able to develop a strategic plan for integrating AI into your schools. The goal of this activity is to better understand what the best methods for integrating AI into the classroom can be, specifically across different grade levels. You can recreate the use of these scenarios by breaking off into groups and having the groups read the scenario, review the tool, and also discuss the discussion questions. This is an opportunity to share insights and learning and considerations for how these tools are used. So let's walk through these scenarios, take a look at the tool presented and how it impacts learning, and consider what types of feedback you can provide to help guide your school or district initiative with AI. The first scenario is about a teacher named Mr. Lewis, who's excited about integrating a new AI tool in his classroom. Let's review this scenario. Mr. Lewis is a 5th grade teacher. He's excited about incorporating a new AI tool called Quizzes AI into his math lessons. The tool is designed to personalize learning by providing students with tailored problem sets based on their performance and offering instant feedback. While Mr. Lewis is enthusiastic about the potential benefits, he feels uncertain about how to effectively integrate the tool into his existing curriculum and how to interpret the data generated by the AI to inform his teaching. Mr. Lewis starts using Quizzes AI with his students, but quickly encounters several challenges. Some students find the AI-generated problem sets too difficult, while others breeze through them without truly understanding the material. Mr. Lewis also struggles to make sense of the detailed analytics provided by the tool, which highlight student progress and areas needing improvement. Recognizing these challenges, Mr. Lewis approaches the school administration to request professional development opportunities focused on integrating AI into the classroom. He believes that with the right training, he can better leverage the tool to enhance student learning outcomes and tailor his instruction to meet the needs of individual students. So that's the scenario. And the tool that is used as the example is Quizzes AI, which is a student assessment tool, web-based student assessment tool, which integrates AI into its problem sets in order to expand students' ability to adapt to different problem sets based on their knowledge, often used in math. Always be sure to get a data privacy agreement in place prior to utilizing any of these tools. It's just a consideration. And let's go ahead through some of the discussion points related to this scenario. What specific skills and knowledge should professional development for AI integration cover to support teachers like Mr. Lewis? So this is an important question around professional development. What types of supports and structures should we give this teacher? I would recommend that we give him targeted understanding of vocabulary, knowledge of how there may be potential bias within the problem sets, also considerations for how to utilize a tool effectively and how to practice utilizing a tool. Ensure that he feels comfortable using the tool, and that it's approved for privacy, and allow him to practice and understand the dynamics of the adjustments that it's going to make for students and their experience as well. The next question, how can the school ensure that educators are equipped to effectively use AI tools and interpret data to inform instruction? High-quality professional development focused on utilizing very specific AI tools will help strengthen a teacher's understanding of a tool and how it can benefit instruction. I think teachers need to try tools, see how they work for them, and see if they produce the outcome that they expect, and set goals for their students' use of the tool, as well as improve their comfortability with use of the tool. So if they feel comfortable, schools can feel more comfortable. Also checking it for privacy, and also what type of data does the tool provide? Can we review this data for ethics and bias? Does it give us really the type of data that allows us to make decisions around student progress? I think those are key questions. The next question, what ongoing support and resources might be necessary to help teachers continuously improve their use of AI in education? So I think teachers need continual communication and the ability to experiment with different tools and understand how they're working. So starting with vocab, starting with trying to utilize certain tools to meet other expectations in their classroom, whether it's creating an assessment, delivering content materials, engaging in collaborative experiences with students. All of these are processes which a teacher does on a daily basis. I think it's important to, when integrating any technology, specifically AI, is to give teachers the opportunity to experiment with them in a way that is productive to meet the needs of those different types of activities. The tool needs to provide value to the instructional process. So it's important that if you're going to provide professional development or experiences to help support the use of teacher tools related to AI, that these tools specifically align with the goals of the classroom use. How can professional development be structured to address varying levels of comfort and expertise with technology amongst teachers? As with any type of professional development, the professional development for AI needs to be scaffolded to allow for entry-level users, middle-level users, and those who want to take it further. So as long as activities, trainings, support for educators integrating these tools is scaffolded so that you can both support those who need an entry-level introduction and those who are doing a more advanced use of a tool or have more experience or level of comfort with the tool, I think you're hitting all your areas. Also, when designing these different experiences, be sure that the vocabulary meets the understanding level of the person who's taking the professional development. Someone who's at the level of entry with the professional development may need to better understand the concepts of generative AI and how that impacts some of these learning tools. Someone in the middle tier may be just looking for more experience around integrating the tools, and someone who's more advanced is probably thinking about how to utilize AI to expand creation of course materials, utilize it for more adaptive learning with their students, and probably has a vision of their own around which tools are going to work best. So they may need additional freedom and flexibility. Now let's do a scenario based on an elementary school level use of AI in the classroom. Mrs. Kim, a third grade math teacher, uses an AI-powered platform called Magic School AI to provide personalized learning recommendations. She becomes concerned about potential bias in the AI's recommendations when some students consistently receive less favorable feedback. Mrs. Kim investigates the AI's algorithm to understand its decision-making process. She suspects that the AI may be perpetuating biases that disadvantage certain groups of students. So the very first discussion point, how should Mrs. Kim approach the issue of potential bias in AI recommendations? So I think she's doing the right thing in the first step by investigating the tool and seeing if the results are accurate, and looking and investigating and seeing if consistent results are happening with the use of the tool. She may want to continue to have a short trial with her own input with the tool and check it for varying responses to see if it provides different feedback based on different types of inputs, and see if it gives the variety that she sees maybe her students potentially receiving. But it is important that if you recognize a tool may be providing biased responses, that you pull back from utilizing the tool, and you also evaluate your expectations and outcomes, but also understand what types of inputs are being put in. There can be inaccuracies in the input and then also in the output, because the algorithm is really only responding to what it's receiving. Now, if it's receiving a lot of information that is different than factual or is being input incorrectly, you're going to get a different result. But it's also important to make sure that the tool itself is not creating a dynamic of bias. What actions might the school take to ensure fairness and equity in AI-powered learning tools? So for the school to ensure fairness and equity, I think it's very valuable that if you have done professional development and you have done some work related to the use of AI, that everybody has a strong understanding of what equity and bias potentially can look like with an AI tool. This could be in the results from the data. This could be in different responses being provided and how the data is manipulated and input based on the different language models. So I would start with understanding, do the teachers and educators and administrators have an idea of what ethics and bias with AI can look like? Then from that base understanding, they can look at a group or set of tools that they're commonly using and evaluate for this particular issue. How can educators and administrators collaborate to address ethical concerns related to AI? I think this can come from a review of a scenario like this, where they can have discussion points related to what are the important components to look at in terms of evaluating tool for ethics and bias. It's also understanding what examples of ethics and bias look like, so everyone understands that they're looking at the same thing, and if they're discussing topics that they're on the same page, because what one perceives as ethics and bias could be different from one person to another. So making sure that everyone has a strong understanding of what they're looking for when they're evaluating ethics and bias between both educators and administrators could be very important. And once you establish that, I think it then can be translated to evaluating and using tools, and also evaluating and using scenarios like this in order to take this next step with a broader understanding in your schools. The next example is a middle school example of AI classroom integration. Ms. Thompson, a middle school English teacher, requests permission from the school administration to use AI writing assistants. This is a Grammarly tool, an AI-powered app that provides real-time feedback on students' writing. The app claims to help students improve their writing skills by offering personalized suggestions on grammar, style, and coherence. Ms. Thompson believes that AI writing assistants could significantly benefit her students and help them become more independent. However, she anticipates potential concerns about data privacy and the app's impact on student learning. She has prepared a proposal to address these issues, but needs administrative approval to move forward. How should the administration evaluate the potential benefits and risk of using AI writing assistants in the classroom? So this teacher obviously is coming from a great place, thinking that this tool is going to add value to her classroom and improve student writing. She also thinks that there might be something in the background of the data that could become an issue with data privacy. So in terms of the first level evaluation, it's important to have a data privacy contract in place with the vendor of the application. That way your district data that's inputted into this application is protected. So that would be the first layer of evaluating the app. Now, once that is in place, it becomes much easier to feel as though whatever data is put in is protected, that utilizing this AI writing assistance tool can at least be safe from a data point. Now, the next step is to look and see if it can be effective in the classroom. That would be a theory or an approach around, do we support these types of tools to enhance student writing? And what does that look like? Which could be taken on in a department level or school-based curriculum group. What factors should be considered regarding data privacy and student engagement? So just as in the first question, having that privacy contract in place and student engagement. So students are going to be engaged with an app that does support improving their writing. They're all going to be engaged with an app that maybe improves the way they are communicating, especially if the teacher is endorsing the use of a tool to help do that. So there needs to be some give and take, and also some strong communication from the teacher to the class around what is appropriate with the use of this tool and what the teacher's expectations for the student's use of this tool is. And also, students need to understand the proper use of the tool, and the teacher needs to make that clear. When the tool should be used, when it should not be used, and set some guidelines and frameworks for the use of the tool. How can the school ensure that the use of this AI app aligns with its educational goals and policies? Well, I think it goes back to evaluating the tool at a department level and also a district level of knowledge of AI, vocabulary, data privacy. First of all, just as before, data privacy in place. 2, an evaluation of the features of the app and how it can improve student learning and instruction, and a framework for what is proper and improper use of the tool. And ultimately, does it meet the goals of instruction for the teacher to produce the student outcomes? Those all could be incorporated within policies for the use of AI within the school. The next example we're going to review is a high school example of AI in the classroom. Mr. Garcia, a high school history teacher, integrates Familiarity, an AI tool that creates simulations of historical events into his classroom. Students can interact with AI-generated characters and make decisions that influence the outcome of historical scenarios. Mr. Garcia observes varying student engagement and learning outcomes with the use of Familiarity. While some students use the tool to deepen their understanding of historical events, others seem to bypass critical thinking and rely solely on the AI to complete assignments. So let's get into the discussion points. What are the indicators of appropriate versus inappropriate use of AI in the classroom? So I think Mr. Garcia is on top of this in terms of first recognizing that the engagement level with the students is varying. He's saying some use it appropriately and some use it inappropriately. So I think at that point, Mr. Garcia may want to speak to his class, first of all, around what his goals are with the use of the tool and what his class expectations are around the use of the tool. And understand that the use of this tool is something that he's allowing them to be able to use to be able to learn the content. And it's providing a new type of experience for them to help engage them further by able to learn more about these characters from learn more about these historical characters. I think the key indicator here is also varying outcomes. So if this tool is not producing the outcomes from Mr. Garcia, that he expects, I think he really needs to reconsider how he's implementing this tool and take a step back and think about, is there different instructions, different guidelines that he can create to help balance out the different types of responses he's getting from students? How can Mr. Garcia assess whether students are truly benefiting from the AI tool? I think he needs to look at the outcomes he's getting from students in terms of products and anticipated learning. If students are not producing and creating at a level in which he expects, he really needs to think about, is this tool really being implemented properly into his classroom with the consistency that he anticipated? I think if he asks himself these questions, it's going to help him evaluate whether the tool is being used appropriately and whether it's the right tool. Because there are a large number of tools, and sometimes people choose a tool thinking they're going to get a specific outcome when they could be evaluating other tools and trying to get an outcome which maybe matches their classroom better. I think with AI, you also need to think about the engagement level and if are students benefiting from the engagement with utilizing this tool that you anticipated and expected. What strategies might the school consider to encourage critical thinking and ethical use of AI among students? I think schools could consider making a rubric for student learning related completely to use of AI tools and whether the AI is engaging them and creating a more engaging experience with their learning. And having a way of measuring whether the tool is adding value to the class and doing it in an equitable way in which all students are having a similar experience. It is also important that when teachers are utilizing these tools, they are building into instructions value around critical thinking with the tools. So if you're utilizing a tool which helps students expand and have an opportunity to engage more heavily with a very powerful piece of technology, it's important that their experience and the value they're taking from that engagement has value, has merit, has credit. So it's important that that is built into the student expectation for learning. And also teachers understand that that should be built into the use of the technology. So those are a few different scenarios for district level, high school, middle school, and elementary school levels to be able to evaluate the use of AI in the classroom and think about it from a different perspective. also with some questions to help further your thinking related to integrating AI into your school environments. The next big questions are all centered around how you can develop an AI integration plan for your schools. These questions are based around several key important areas that you need to address. The first is concern around ethics and bias, data privacy and security, professional development, district guidance and communication, and student preparation. Now, these are some questions, each addressing each one of these areas. They're going to help you begin to develop your district or school's vision for the use of AI in education. The first one is for ethics and bias. How can schools ensure that AI tools used are implemented in ways that minimize bias and promote ethical use? And what measures can be taken to regularly assess and address potential bias? The next one is for data privacy and cybersecurity. What policies and practices should schools adopt to protect student data privacy and ensure robust cybersecurity when implementing AI technologies? The next is in the area of professional development. How can Educator professional development effectively prepare educators to integrate AI into their teaching? And what ongoing support can be established to foster continuous learning and adaptation? The next is for district guidance and communication. How can we develop clear guidance and communication regarding AI use to ensure consistent understanding and application? And finally, curriculum integration and student preparation. What strategies can educators use to integrate AI into the curriculum in ways that enhance student learning and preparation for future careers? And how can schools assess the effectiveness of these strategies in achieving their educational goals? Now, these are a group of questions that you can answer collectively in groups, use it as a feedback tool, but use it to help develop a future vision for how to integrate these concepts into your AI integration plan. I appreciate your time checking out the video, and hopefully you come back again for more. And also, feel free to visit digitalfutureseducation.com for a wide range of resources related to this topic and many others, plus additional online coaching, courses, and support for any of these initiatives. Thanks again.